Oh, would you look at that? It's already been baled, loaded, and as I talk right now, I'll bet it is currently being unloaded at a dairy in Texas. That's how you turn around some hay. Morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday. Choppers are gonna have to wait a minute because I gotta go fill up the fuel trailer. I'm out of DEF and out of fuel. Half tank is all the more I'm gonna get here because our tote is empty again, which means we've gone through 2 full totes of DEF already this harvest. We had a partial, we had to bring out a full one, and now this one. In the tons we were talking last night at the shop, we might need another one after the next. Perfect timing, I just heard one of them click off. So, if you haven't seen me talk about it before, that pump works best when you're able to run both hoses, or is most efficient. So what I'll do is I'll come fill the trailer with both hoses and then just use the trailer's pump to fill the choppers, because normally you don't do this in the morning when you need to be getting the choppers ready. But what I'll do is I'll start that pump on slow, and then I'll do a lot of service work on the chopper while I put fuel in, making it much more efficient in the end than getting the chopper ready, bringing it down here to the fuel pump, and then just sitting here while I put fuel in, because that's a good 10 minutes of your day wasted sitting waiting on fuel. Normally you do this at night or when everyone's actually here. I can get somebody to do it the day before, but we're short-handed, so whatever. See? 2 things at once while I start working on this disgusting thing. Eee. Yep, she looks ready. So why in the hell is my chopper so dirty? Well, as you know from previous videos, having hell with the air compressor on hot days, just trying to get one machine blown off. Well, it hasn't been very hot, but for the last couple days we've been running 2 machines. Wednesday I beat Colton to the air compressor, blew mine off real quick, didn't have any problems with the air compressor because I did it super fast. He shows up about 20 minutes later, he runs for about 3 minutes and overheats. And he restarts it 2 or 3 times, you know, run for 30 seconds and shut off. So finally he just shut it off and let it set. 2 hours later, after dark, he finally got it to run long enough to call it good enough. Didn't do a good job, but it did a good enough job. Last night, I show up, well, no, let's even backtrack farther. Tuesday, we started the day with my chopper, halfway through the day switched. Well, Bart brings it over, of course, blows it off before working on it, like anybody would. I show up 3 hours later, I don't get a third done with the other chopper, and that thing's overheating. So last night, when I showed up and seen Colton had already blown off, I just said, screw it. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to stick around until well after dark, waiting on it to cool off, and then try and blow off, because, yeah, you can blow these off in the dark. You can do a pretty decent job, but you miss a lot of spots just because you can only see so much with the lights. Fuel delivery. Good thing I got it when I did. So I just said, so what makes it really fun is I'm even further west now than I was the other day when I had you guys with me, like another 5 miles. So it's over an hour drive for me to get from here at our place to the field. I drove over an hour to get here to just shut the machine off. This morning, put fuel, DEF, water in, and now I'm headed back. 2 hours of roading for fuel, basically. Colton had a simple little 5-minute drive to his first field of the day. Get past trees. There he is. He's gonna finish up there. It's a quarter circle that he already started, and then switch over to corn. Over here at the big feedlot that we're not chopping for, they have a field of their own where they put their effluent on that we got to go chop for them. Sounds like I'm supposed to go back. I've got about 5 acres of corn left, and then 10 acres of feed. It's about 15, maybe 20 acres left where I'm at, and then I'm headed over to help him because that's like a half-mile pivot. So it'll be quite a few acres. I haven't been by there. I don't know how good it is. And once we get that done, I have zero idea what the plan is. I'm assuming it'll take all day for that. Mainly because I'm just going to be driving like this all day. Hey, look at that. We made it. And the pit is right there. Good stuff. So I got this little pie-shaped corn here to finish up. And then a little pie shape of feed. And then we're on the move. Whee! 6 loads of corn knocked out. Now to see about getting this 20 acres of feed. He told me to leave a border on the 2 sides. And I got to try and see the bales up here at the stop. So, a little nerve-wracking. Quarter mile away from the pit, and I'm waiting on trucks. Nah, it's because they had to go away. In order to weigh, they got to go about 10 miles down a nice washboarded out road. Real good stuff. Some moisture on this. Ugh. You can tell just looking at it, it's actually burning down pretty good. And I've got this switched over to boot, yeah, so it should be reading right. We're showing 64. So, the plan was originally for me to just knock out this 10 acres, because that's the original contract. Just get this out of the way, go help Colton, like I was saying, on corn. But the farmer and the cattlemen are also talking about maybe him selling him a bunch of feed. Well, if this is ready, what are the odds the other stuff's ready? Maybe we can just get it all done with while we're here now and not have to come back. Here's a phone call. Let's see what the plan is. I do not envy what the tuna does. He is on the phone all day trying to figure out where to go. I mean, from here to where we normally would go east of here on our usual harvest run is, I'll bet 50 miles. So you got a 50-mile wide area by about 10 mile north to south, because we're kind of barricaded in the valley here. You got to organize the farmers and all the different feedlots or cattlemen, like individual guys. So it's a maze. So now the cattleman says he doesn't want any more. For now, that's always subject to change. So I'm gonna finish probably 3 loads here, if even that, and then head to go chop corn with Colton, and then from there go chop corn for our pit. I think, as of right now. Done. Rather than bounce the washboards going that way, I'm gonna drop a mile south because at least it's paved for part of the way. Plus, at lunchtime, I actually get to eat my food in peace. I don't know if we got enough trucks. I mean, this is a real long haul from right here to the grain bins right over there. Anyway, second crop, obviously it's struggling. Mainly, I do believe this farm is just a way for them to get rid of their effluent, which is the liquid manure water. Back east, a lot of guys will haul it with tanks to fields to put on. Out here, if pivots are close, it's more efficient to pipe it to the pivot. Just have the pivot apply it as needed throughout the summer. Wow. Random facts of the day. A little different punching the hole when you can see clear to the other end of the field. Oh, that truck turned. Should have followed me. Colton's got a truck over there, still going around the outside. Yeah, trucks keep up. I mean, it's a really big field. What is it, like 11 tower, half pivot? So probably 120 acres or so. Hopefully we can get this knocked out. Kyle's full. Now we wait. I'm starting to do a lot of these turns out in the middle. I don't like doing them, but if you can't make it to the other end, you got no more trucks. It's a good way to get them a full load and get them out of here. As you can see though, we're gonna have a little water situation on some of these tracks. I think from about this track out, it looked like going around. And as you can see how far over there Colton is, still a long ways to the edge. So you might be wondering, that looks like the big feedlot that's not taking any silage. You're right. The only reason this is going there is because it's their own field. If you guys haven't been here all fall, this feedlot is where the majority of our silage goes every spring, every fall. But because they've overbought so much over the last 2 years, and because cattle numbers are down, so they're not working at max capacity, all of a sudden they've got a lot of oversupply, and the higher up said no silage. After we all planted intending for fall silage. But there was no contract out, so I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is there. So all of our silage has been going to another feedlot down east. That's why it's been drawn out. That's why we're having to get it a little drier. This field is supposedly the only thing going into their pit. And it's because it's their own. Okay, look at that. We finally made it to the end. Yeah. All times ticked up. So we're about 2/3 done with that field. The pack tractor just broke down, blew a hydraulic hose. So he was going to get a different tractor. Colton shut down with half the trucks. Good God. I grabbed the other half. Now we're going to go get started going into our pit with some of our corn, mainly so we can do some moisture tests and see what it's like. Oh, jeez. Both of the new pivots are up. Both trench lines are done. Those two pickups there are putting the wiring in the trench so the electricians can get started. And I would stop, but I need to get to the field. On the back side of the pond there, they got the plumbing all hooked up, I believe. Getting all the panels, the pump, everything like that installed and in place. They already trenched the electric from that white box there on top of the pond over to it. Yeah, see. Yep, they're working on all the plumbing there right now. So that project's still moving right along. When did they... I thought we only ripped part of this. Why... I'm confused. I thought he was turning around. Lovely communication as always. It still amazes me what a couple of days can do. That average was a little over 69 on Monday. Now it's worked its way down to 67. Which means by Monday, it would be like 65 or 66. But it doesn't matter because we're getting irrigated water. We don't want this field to get wet, so we're chopping it and putting it in our pit. Easy peasy. You can tell we had a little bit of trouble with this spring because of the way that it is. On to a field that honestly I forgot we had corn over here. Get this thing opened up because we get water here I think tomorrow morning. We want to irrigate the new hay. We don't want the corn to get wet. And the guy in charge of pushing buttons on his phone to control the sprinklers tends to miss his stops by 4 or 5 degrees sometimes. And no tsunami. Okay, there it goes into the 70s. I was gonna say, I really don't believe these moisture numbers. There's some 70s. Now it makes sense. Somehow the field so far, just opening it up, averaged 68. And I'm like, there's no way in hell. There's the 70s. It's gonna come up. Okay, it's green. For 2 hours work, not a bad bet. What's up, Adrian?
Give me the ceramic planters.
Looking good. Looking good. Colton, get the hell out of my way. Oh yeah, you're in the disc. So now I get to sit here longer.
That is true. Maybe it's weird. Don't know.
I didn't blow it off yesterday. I probably better blow it off today.
If there could be trim.
20 minutes later, we got one done. 2 restarts after the 2 restarts he already had before getting in the VT. So I'm gonna say fire. Well, here it is, 7 o'clock. We're abandoning it. Tuna says no chopping this weekend, so piss on it. We'll blow it off tomorrow. Let's go home, Colton. In other news, there's one hellacious harvest moon tonight, which on the camera just looks like a spotlight out there. So for those of you that have to work past dark, best of luck to you. I'm going home.